So just about 45 minutes before I'm recording this commentary, we got a brand new teaser about some Season 5 lore of Apex Legends. So I'm gonna go over this teaser, and then I'm gonna look at the 3 previous teasers to kind of mush together everything we know. I have a pretty interesting lore theory for you guys after I read this first teaser, so I'm Alarmix, let's get into the video. So if we go over to this teaser on Twitter, put it up on screen, it says, in conclusion, the prototype is operational, and we have seen promising results in regard to remote neural projection and degradation obtainment. However, the latter is not absolute. Despite our best efforts, our tests continue to show infinitesimal, I think that's how you say it, that means really small, data corruption on each transference. We hypothesize this corruption will compound to an exponential rate. It is likely that the subject will experience significant program collapse if transference is repeated indefinitely. It is the opinion of the research team that this technology be limited to a small batch transference, while additional avenues for corruption obtainment are explored. So at the bottom it says keep to par next time. No one's gonna read all of that. How much did this cost at accounting? So this is a mouthful, but for you to fully understand this, you have to understand the last 2 teasers. So I'm just gonna go back in time a little bit. So I'm just gonna sum these all up for you guys. I'm not gonna actually read through all of these. In the original teaser, it talks about how Revenant was created by the original Hammond Robotics, and how at that time Hammond was strongly associated with the IMC. Then this teaser, it shows that Revenant, he is really the only Simulacrum ever to have a psychotic break. Revenant's psychotic break was from the Season 4 launch trailer, where he got that piece of glass stuck in the side of his neck, and then he just went on a killing rampage and just killed every person in sight, basically. It then talks about how Revenant, he is basically the Syndicate's hitman, and how he is immorally just killing everybody in sight. So these people at Hammond Robotics want to go into Revenant systems to change his coding so he stops doing that. From what I get from all of this is that Hammond Robotics, they sort of maintain the systems of Revenant. You see Hammond Robotics things all over the Apex games, but the Syndicate is the actual group. The Syndicate has so much power over the Outlands, and they own the Apex games. But then it talks about how when Hammond Robotics went into the systems to try to change Revenant's coding, that the security system was just too well built, so they can't really do it that way. Revenant was built hundreds of years ago, and apparently the security system from way back then is beating this modern technology from way in the future. There are sticky notes at the bottom of this screen. It seems like it is an outsider person who got a hold of this message, who is trying to learn more about this Hammond Robotics and Syndicate relationship and what is going on with this experiment. People, you might want to just discard what I'm saying quickly here, but my hypothesis is that from the Loba trailer, you saw that guy with the blue hair that looks like Ninja. He said, I found him, and then he put Revenant up on the screen for Loba. I think that guy, he somehow hacked and got a hold of these emails, and these are possibly his sticky notes at the bottom of the screen or Loba's. But this may be a wrong hypothesis, so you can choose to either include that with this lore or exclude that part. So let's just keep on going now. So the second teaser that we got from Apex Legends over on Twitter, it talks about basically what a simulacrum is. It says that it is a robot with a bunch of programming who thinks it's a human. It's a human incarceration of a robot, basically. I'm sure you guys know this. But given that this is a robot who thinks it's human, it keeps its mental sanity by thinking it is human. So if this robot who is programmed with the qualities of this human, so Revenant is a simulacrum and incarceration of this really legendary hitman. If this robot were to figure out that it is a robot, and that is what happened in the Season 4 launch trailer, Revenant got that piece of glass stuck in his neck, and it somehow messed up his programming, and he saw in the mirror that he was not this human, he is just a robot. This could lead to a psychotic break in the robot. I just repeated the same words like 50 times. So I'm sure you know when Revenant dies, he respawns somewhere. Revenant's consciousness is uploaded somewhere else, and every time he dies, a new body is made, and that consciousness is transferred into that body. So on the left hand of this teaser right here, it talks about how Hammond Robotics is monitoring this process, and how this time, when Revenant is transferred into his brand new body, how his consciousness is not fully transferred over. He is losing data every single time he dies and gets transferred over. But then on this text at the bottom of the screen, it talks about how they're going to try a new test, something called organic storage, which should help the data more fully transfer over. And then I'm going to throw the third teaser up on screen here for you guys. I don't really get a whole lot from this one. I think that this just confirms that they are for sure testing on Revenant. I'm thinking that Respawn, they saw people looking at these teasers and they were wondering who the Simulacrum is, and this kind of teaser was just further confirming that, yeah, this is Revenant. So from the teaser from today, you can see on the top of the page, it says Project 6 Alarmix 17 documents emails, so we can see this is an email, obviously. And then it says test results, so they're going to be talking about the brand new test that they did. And then we can see this email was sent by Gabrielle Mora. There's a Hammond Robotics profile picture here, so we can see this is a Hammond Robotics employee. So to sum up this whole teaser that I already read to you guys, this one kind of talks about how they did that new adjusted test and how it did mostly work. When Revenant dies and he goes into a brand new body, they only lose such a small tiny bit amount of data. And also all of this data that Revenant has been losing in the past when he dies and respawns, apparently they recovered all of that data, but it seems though this marginal amount of data that Revenant is losing every time he respawns now, it could compound exponentially into a much larger sum of data. So what I get from all of this is that Revenant, he's back to 100%. He is the best version of himself right now, but if he keeps on dying, it could very quickly completely just crash his systems. At the bottom of this page, it says keep it par next time. No one's gonna read all that, but how much did this cost at accounting? I'm pretty sure this guy next to his profile picture, which is a Hammond Robotics profile picture, it says Roy House. I'm pretty sure this guy is pretty high up in Hammond Robotics. We saw in the last in-game teaser in Apex Legends, you go pick up that Loba ring and it would teleport you to a place, it seems like underneath King's Canyon, and there are a bunch of stalkers all over the walls. Stalkers are manufactured by Hammond Robotics, but the Syndicate, they definitely own the Apex games, so it certainly does seem that, quite obviously I guess, that Hammond Robotics and the Syndicate are partners in crime. So it seems like Hammond Robotics, they're trying to fix Revenant, which is the Syndicate's hitman. So what I'm wondering is, did the Syndicate tell Hammond Robotics to fix Revenant? With these stalkers, I was kind of wondering what they are doing around the Apex games. My initial theory is that Revenant's brain is somewhere, and Revenant, he is pretty much the perfect killer machine. So my thought is that because Revenants, they can't really make another one of them, otherwise they would. At least that's what I think. That these stalker robots, they're somewhere guarding Revenant's brain, because Revenant's brain, like I said before, it is uploaded somewhere. It is a physical object somewhere, but it is not in Revenant's body. That was my initial theory, but now I'm kind of doubting that. I'm pretty sure all of these teasers hinting at Revenant being at 100%, but now if he dies a couple of more times, that could kill Revenant permanently. I think this is hinting at the possibility of Loba and Revenant fighting, and if Loba does kill Revenant, that Revenant could be dead forever. But people, this lore theory, everything I just told you in this video, please take it with a grain of salt, but I think up to date, with all of these teasers on Twitter, this is just about the best rambling and best theories that you will hear about this. So people, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you're new, because I do a bunch of interesting Apex Legends videos just like this. And that'll be about it for me, the Alarmix. I'll see you guys later.